tell you why there was a point. I lived in Columbus, Ohio when I was a youth leader. I know how hard it is to get our young people out here. And so to look in this room and see the amount of young people that's out here does my heart good. It does my spirit an abundance of joy. And I am ever so grateful. That's all right.
Hallelujah, Jesus. Hallelujah. I feel a little bit more free now. Now that I have a mic in my hand, I don't know what it was about that thing that was holding me down. But I will tell you right now, I'm so grateful to God that I am here. I'm grateful to God that each and every one of you are here. And first, I want to give honor where honor is due. I give honor to God, who is everything in my life. Hallelujah, Jesus. Hallelujah, Lord. And I just want to thank my husband for allowing me to be here tonight. He's at home with our 6-year-old who has strep throat. And so I'm grateful that he allowed me to be here. And I want to say thank you to the man of this house, the shepherd of this house, the pastor of Pine Ridge Fellowship, that allowed me to mount his platform, because it's not an easy thing to do. I want to say thank you to UIC, who just embraced me like family. Y'all embraced me like family. And that's how you know you serve a good God, an on-time God, the same God. When you don't even know each other and you're strangers, and when you come before each other, you become family. And so I'm grateful for that. And I want to send greetings from Divine Remnant of Truth and my pastor, Ira Martin. He could not be here. He's out of town and couldn't be here, and so he wanted to send his greetings to you all. God is, he got humor. I'm just going to say that first, because the message that I prepared just went completely and utterly out the window. So bear with me tonight. I want to say that I have a 24-year-old son who's now married, and I have 2 grandchildren. I have a 14-year-old son who was up here on the He doesn't really like for me to even say his name or even say anything about him, but he's truly anointed, and I love him to pieces. I have a 6-year-old at home, like I just said, and so in the process, you know, God is allowing me to deal with my young people in 3 different generations, and now having grandchildren 4 different generations at the same time is not easy. It's not easy, but I thank God for all the wisdom and the experience that he placed inside of me, that I'm able to meet my children where they are and not to be above them or beneath them, but be able to meet them where they're at, and it's been a blessing. Before I go any further, let me read the key scripture tonight, because God is taking me. I'm already here, and I gotta bring y'all with where God is taking me. And so I'm reading Ephesians 5:8-10, and it reads, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Walk as children of light, for the fruit of the Spirit is in all goodness, righteousness, and truth, finding out what is acceptable to the Lord." God has me to share my testimony, and because we have so many young people in here, I'm praying that what I'm about to share, that it touches you in a special way, because all of us have been through something, and all of us are still going through something, and we will continue to go through some things until we reach our destiny, which is heaven. And so I'm going to take you back through my life and just share some things with you. At the age of 4 years old, my innocence was taken away from me from a family member. Now, We have some people who go through those things, who deal with those things, and a lot of times they bury it. And even in families, a lot of times these situations become buried, not realizing what our children are enduring when they have to bury and not talk about, release, or be delivered from that thing that they've had to go through that wasn't even their fault. And so growing up, at some point, I believe that what I went through at the age of 4 was my fault. And it did something to every person that I encountered, every relationship that I had. It transformed me because what it did, it opened up a doorway where the enemy stepped in and had me walking in a place of darkness. And I struggled throughout the years of growing up, and even at the young age of 13, I became an alcoholic because I was trying to bury what I was going through. I was trying to ignore all of those things. I was trying to put it away, but it kept taunting me. It kept tormenting me. Even as the years went on, and the amazing thing about it is it was at the age of 13 that I actually started going to church. And so I am being introduced to church, but although I am going to a church and I have been introduced to church, I was still walking in darkness because I was still in bondage to that thing from the age of 4 years old, that now I am an alcoholic that is now going to church on a regular basis. Now the people in the church embraced me and they loved me, but yet they didn't have no idea of the day-to-day things that I dealt with. On top of that, because my mother had me at the age of 15, she did not know how to raise a child because she was a child herself. Therefore, I also grew up in an abusive home. On top of that, I reached a place where I started doing marijuana because the alcohol was no longer numbing the issue. Then on top of that, the marijuana really wasn't numbing the issue. It wouldn't allow me to forget the issue. And here I am still walking in darkness, although I'm going to church. And the amazing thing is I would even sit in church and tell stories of the stuff that I was going through at home as if it was a TV show, and they would sit and be like, wow. The young people around me was just in awe, like, wow, you're really going through that? Yes, this is my day-to-day life. But I told the story in a way as though I wasn't even bothered. Yet I was looking for an outlet to get things out of me. And the more I talked, the deeper in darkness I became. Because although I'm talking to my peers, no one truly reached out to me and says, okay, let me pray with you. Let me help you through the process. There may be somebody that you need to talk to. They were so in awe with the storyteller that they forgot that the storyteller was the one that was hurting. And because they were my peers, they really didn't know what to do. They didn't know really what I was dealing with, because a lot of them had no understanding of the depth of my hurt and my pain, so they really couldn't help me. They just was in awe and was saying, well, you don't really have to, really deal with that, and you don't really have to. But when our young people are going through things and you hear, I'm going to pray for you, how will that help them get through the situation? Because to pray for them and to tell them to pray does not give them the tools that they need to reach the light. So it came a point that I said, okay, well, forget church, because the church is not helping me. And I just went and was then falling into more peer pressure at school, to where everybody I encountered, my encounters was not good. I became promiscuous because I was still hurting and I was still in pain, and I'm looking for love and I'm looking for this and I'm looking for that in the wrong places and in the wrong people, but I'm young and I don't know. To where it got to the point in my life where I felt like I wasn't good enough. People talked about me, and the more they talked about me, the more I thought, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm less than. I thought I was ugly because of the things that were said to me, and it took me even deeper into darkness because it took me into depression and suicidal thoughts. By the age of 17, I was back in the church, this time a different church. And in this particular church, by the age of 19, I was pregnant with my oldest son and went through some things in the church and decided to leave the church because the church didn't embrace me through my situation. I'm a young person, I need help. But instead of embracing me and loving me, they shunned me because I wasn't married, and not realizing all the hurt and the pain that was buried so deep. I was so deep in depression that not only did I just go into depression, there became suicidal thoughts. Suicidal thoughts became suicidal actions. And even when I had my oldest son, I still attempted to commit suicide. That's how deep in darkness I was. I knew of a God. And I knew of the God that people told me about. But the pain that was inside of me that had me such in a deep, deep darkness, I didn't know how to come out of it. I had no one to reach for me and say, let me show you. Let me give you the steps. Let me walk with you. Instead, I'll pray for you. And you need to pray about it. And even through the years, over time and time and time, I couldn't understand how is it that somebody can go to church, know who a God is, know what God can do, and you still in darkness. So then even more so I felt, God, why am I even here? I can't even feel you. I don't even know you're present. And everybody done seemingly turned their back against me. I done went through all of these issues in school, and my mom really didn't know a lot of the things that I endured. And so I say that to say that even with my own children, my oldest son went through some things and would have moments of darkness. And as his mom, I had to realize that I'm not just his mother, that I'm also his spiritual mother. That when he's going through certain things in his life, as though that he's walking through darkness and he has no one, sometimes I have to step outside of being the physical mom and step into being the spiritual mom so I can help my son through the process in the spirit. A lot of times we don't realize what our young people are enduring even inside the church, because there's peer pressure inside the church. There are things that our young people go through inside the church that we don't even realize, because we may not have experienced it, does not mean they're not experiencing it, because the same kids that's in the church is the same kids that's in the public schools. So the same issues that's in the public schools are coming into our church, and we have to realize what our young people are going through and take the time and truly listen to them, listen to their heart, because most of the time our children will come home and tell us what they're going through, but it won't be directly. What will happen is they will begin to act out. They will begin to do little things that you're saying, why are you doing it? You know you shouldn't be doing this, and you know you shouldn't be doing that. A lot of times that's their cry for mom, dad, I need help, but what I'm going through, I'm too ashamed to tell you the depth of my hurt and my pain. I'm trying to deal with it, and it's not working. And it pains for me as a mom, it pains my heart, because I know those pains. I know those hidden things. There's a lot of things that my mother didn't know that I experienced as a child. And one of the newer things that is hitting our young people that's going to take them deeper into a darkness, because again, peer pressure is hard for a child to withstand. And you have some parents that says, you're a child, it really ain't that serious. All you gotta do is go to school and learn, and all you gotta do is go to school and get your education. But when you have another child the same age as your child that is pulling your child into the pit, they're really struggling with what to say. And most of the time they're going to give in, although they know it's not right. And so one of the newer things that's now hitting the schools is vaping. Vaping is the electronic cigarettes. They have them so small, they look like a flash drive. Small enough to put in their wallets. And another thing about vaping, when our children are encountering these things, it doesn't smell like cigarette smoke. It doesn't even smell like the chemicals that's inside the vape. Therefore, it may smell like Skittles, it may smell like grape, it may smell like cherry, it may smell like strawberry, and therefore, your child could be getting high at school and you don't even know it. Your child could be getting high right in the house and you don't even know it. Your child could be getting high and they don't even know it, because the chemical makeup that's inside the vape, the FDA doesn't even know all the chemicals that's being put into it. And now they're even taking marijuana oil, CBD oil, putting it inside the vape. But parents, we really don't know, because we're looking for particular smells because of how we grew up, but we're in a different generation. We're in a generation where the mentality has grown, has surpassed what we knew. And so because it has surpassed what we knew, if you are not on a computer and researching, I urge you as parents to get on a computer and begin to research, because you have no idea what these young people are encountering. There is still gangs in our schools to where not to just this week, there was a fight of 60 students of Crips and Bloods in the school. And a lot of times these kids are getting into gangs and they don't even realize that that's what they're doing until they're there. This is the darkness that our young people are dealing with on the day-to-day basis. And again, as parents, we don't realize the depth of the hurt and the pain of what our children are walking around carrying, because most of the time they're not going to come home and tell you. So what I'm saying to you young people, you don't allow yourself to be in a place of darkness or feel like you're less than because that's what somebody told you. You don't allow yourself to believe, young ladies, that you're not beautiful because that's what somebody said about you. Because the beautiful thing about God, He created each and every one of us differently. We are DNA that's inside each and every one of us is different. We're very unique. God created you for a purpose. There's a plan for your life. And the thing about it is, when you go through the darkness, a lot of times, it is in the darkness that when you can become so broken, at that moment is when Jesus can pierce you and the light of Jesus can come through the darkness. Young people, you cannot allow what somebody has done to you to dictate your future. You can't allow how somebody has treated you to dictate your right or your wrong or your hiddenness. You can't allow these things to take you in a place of hiding, not going to your parents or someone that is an adult that you trust enough to say, I'm hurt and I've been hurt and this person has taken my innocence, or I feel ashamed of myself. And when I look at myself in the mirror, I don't see what other people see in me, and I'm trying to find myself. I'm trying to find out who I am. I'm trying to find out why these things are happening to me. Don't allow yourself to be in such a dark place that you can't seek nobody that's going to help you. You gotta go and seek. When I say seek Christ in your dark situation, seek Christ in your hurt, seek Christ in your pain, seek Christ even in your bitterness. Even if you say to God, I'm hurt, I'm broken, I don't know which way to go, I don't know who to go to. Lord, I need you to send somebody in my path that's going to help me through my situation. You can't give up on yourself because God has not given up on you. Because if you've woken up to see today, God is saying, I'm giving you another chance. Even if you stumble and you fall, all you have to do is get back up and take the next step, and God will see you through the process. Oftentimes we lean on our own understanding. We slip, we fall, and we stay down. Well, I done tried, why should I get back up? I done tried, why should I do it again? I done prayed and I done asked God to help me in the same situation over and over and over. And so, is God really listening to me? Because I keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And then you get in that place and say, what's the purpose of talking to God? Because I keep doing it over and over again. So God, I'm just going to wait till I'm ready. I'm going to wait till I deal with it. I'm going to wait till I find it. And God is such a God, He's such an awesome God that you don't have to wait till you get it together, because truth be told, young people, you will never be able to get it together without Jesus. You will never be able to fix the situation without Jesus. Because this is the thing, you have to plug into the source that gives you the light that shines on the problem that Jesus is saying, I got this. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to walk around hurt. You don't have to walk around in pain. You don't have to walk around in bitterness. You don't have to walk around worrying about the ugliness. You don't have to walk around worrying about who's talking about you. You don't have to walk around being stuck in a hidden place. You don't have to walk around being in bondage, because what the enemy wants, he wants you in bondage. He wants to keep you down. He wants to keep you low. He wants to keep you in that place where you can't stand up. And the thing about it is, even in a struggle, even in a fight, you step into Jesus and you stand up knowing in full confidence who God is and who you are in Him. You don't allow nobody to move you. You don't allow nobody to shake you, because we believe in an immovable God. Hallelujah, Jesus. And on time, God, He doesn't make any mistakes. So everything you have went through in your life is to build you up. Everything you're going through in your life is to make you better. Everything that you're going through in your life, God will take that thing and it will be a testimony that it will bless others and bring others out. Your testimony of what you've been through in your life is that light. When God steps into you, when you have been in a place, this is the thing. My stepdad told me this, and when I first heard it, I was like, what? He said, in your darkest hour is your greatest hour. And so, in my darkest hours, how is it in my darkest hours my greatest hour? This is the thing. In your darkest hour, when you're in the deepest deep of the deep that you can go, it becomes your greatest hour, because that is the moment that you can look up and say, God, when I look around, I have nobody. When I look around, my friends done turned their back on me. God, when I look around, my family done left me. God, I'm stuck in this place all by myself, and it becomes your greatest